Right, you can see that now.
Yeah, it says Astro Discord, and I'm flying through a city.
Amazing. There's the Astro universe, bruv. That's what you're looking at, is
That's
the
amazing.
Astro universe. You know, everyone has their own unique little house in here. Yeah. Okay, so
NFTs?
why does it? No, we are a firmly no NFT organization.
Ideas, I'm just saying.
I know how you better watch it before Sarah bans you, though. So, welcome to the Astro Community Calls, ladies and gentlemen. It is the last call of the year, and it's taking place on the 20th of December. And we're just going to keep it short and sweet for you guys this week. Just the highlight reel this week, and then that is it. There's no RFCs. We'll be picking them back up next year. So let's take a look at the pulse and see how the year has pretty much played out, right, for the last week over the Astro repo. And as we see here, we've got about 60% of the PRs that were managed to get merged this week before everyone has gone off for Christmas. And a good amount of issues got equally resolved as well, around 60% of issues and around 72% of the PRs that were merged. So all in all, a good successful week for folk who's contributed to the Astro Core repo. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a good one. We're finishing the year with a minor release of version 7 came out. Right, so we're now at 1.7.2 with 2 patch fixes that were hot off the heels of the minor release, just to put a couple of things in order with the release that came out. And talk about release, here's a couple of cool announcements that are ready for you. There's been a number of toys that have been presents that have been given to you. The first one is the Prerender API. Now this has managed to get merged and has provided a new way of us being able to render our pages, our routes out, and as a result we've got this hybrid approach now. It's available to you underneath the experimental flag in your config file. So if you want to turn this on in your Astro config file, just update to the latest Astro release, and within your config file you'll be able to see the experimental flag there, option, and within there just apply the pre-render to true, like you can see here, and that is it. That's all you need to do. And what that basically allows, as you can see here, is allows you to set a simple variable at the top of your routes just by writing down export const pre-render to equal true, and then from there pop in your server-side logic, anything that you would require, that would need to be done upon request. That is now available to you. So what will normally happen is the pages will be your site will be rendered out static by default, and you opt in to have certain pages or certain routes to be rendered upon request. Simple. It is beautiful. And I'm glad that is here. This is a new one. This one here, right, is just breaking minds all over the place. And we have the content collections API that's finally landed. Now, Ben has put in a lot of work on this, right? And again, to turn this on, this is available to you underneath the experimental flag as well. All you need to do is just type in content collections and set that to true, and that's it on for you. It will allow you to generate files based on content that is now exclusively held within its own content directory. Okay, this then means that you could then have easy way to access it just by using this get collections API. No more typing out the path, the routes. You're not globbing anything anymore. So astro.glob, everyone's favorite function, is now consigned to its use case of just grabbing files from the file system, whereas here you can actually grab your content. It'll give you all your type safety. It'll give you your front matter fully typed as well. And it would also give you some certain additional APIs that will make life a lot easier for you. For instance, this entry.slug. Now, this is a typical example of how you would be able to render out your content. Now, there is a .render method that is attached to basically your entry post, and there is a get entry method as well. There's a number of APIs that I would like you to go about exploring with this contents collections API that Ben has put together. It is fantastic, it is wonderful, and honestly guys, it's going to change the way that we're going to be writing content. More information about this, right, can be found on the docs page. So this is what kept Ben's commits so high the past number of weeks, is getting this page finally crafted for us. And here it explains absolutely everything that you're going to need to get your head around the content collections API. It is not that much. The moment you play with it the first time, you pretty much got it, right? Next up is my favourite announcement out of the three. This one here is because we finally got amazing error support. Now, Erica has basically managed to get together along with Mark and come up with a new way of redoing the error overlays that we tend to see. Because I don't know about you, but that is me in the corner every time I see this. Okay, and as a result, we have these pretty little error overlays. Now, a lot of work has went into this, guys. It is not fully perfect, but the roadmap is now here for everyone to see the direction that we're now going in terms of providing better error guidance and support. And we even have little Houston looking on for you as well, just to keep you looked after. And yeah, Erica, Mark, thank you very much for your hard work on this one. This is an actual treat. No more difficult errors, even in the console as well, guys. So your console errors have been changed as well significantly. And if you want to put all three in action, you can do so just by adding all three to your config. And that is the pre-render, the error overlay, and the content collections to all to true. And yeah, get busy, get hacking, and get building over the Christmas period. Okay? More information, like I said, the docs is honestly amazing. There's so many cool things that's been added to the docs as well, and we'll come to that. But one little shout out that I like to say is that's the new little added in feature that's been put in. Goes to tell you when features have been added to the Astro code base and what versions. If you're on these, distant versions, you know which ones have been added to and which ones to upgrade to, right? Great little touch, that. And then we're on to one of the staple parts of this week in Astro. And this is where we go overlook the amazing work that these astronauts have been doing towards the Astro Core project itself, right? And we've got amazing PRs that were lined up this week that managed to make it in with the minor release as well. The first one being from Shan Chen, who's helped fix a bug that he had when he was digging into why he was getting these maximum call stack size errors that were being popped up when he was trying the new content collection API. Bear in mind, admittedly, he says that he did not know too much about Veep, but he still managed to come up with a solution that we really need, right? That we needed at the time. And this is a great wee PR and honestly a great wee example of just being bold. Even if you don't know, we can support you. And nonetheless, he's managed to see something, hint, hint, check out the PR and you'll get the hint joke, right? That managed to make it so that our memory sizes are kept in check, which is fantastic. Thank you very much for that one, Shen. Yuhang is back. Now, this is what is 7th, 8th PR, right? All again helping to close issues that were already open on the repo. Now, here he basically, it was a simple one, right? But he's upgraded Git, right? And our Create Astro CLI to help support the new features that were provided by that package. Here it now follows the system proxy settings and respecting the proxy environment variables that are in place, right? This is great because it allows people who can't access the Create Astro CLI tool behind their set network or firewalls that they've got in place either at work or at home. This is fantastic. So thank you very much for that, Yihang. I knew there was a astronaut the other day in the threads who was actually coming across this problem himself. So that's a great little addition. Appreciate that. This is a wonderful PR, right, from Ryu. And with the new server headers options that we have, with this PR, he's basically given us the new server header options. The users now can specify custom headers for Astro in dev and Astro preview servers. Okay, guys? This is really useful when you want to build a website requiring specific response headers, such as your course policies, okay? Like this. So within your config, within your server option, you can now pass in a wee command function that allows you to then choose, define what ports you want to do, depending on if it's development or if it's just, if you want to pass in the same course policy to both developer and preview servers, you can do just by setting this header object here. This is fantastic. This is great because it allows people who are hitting CORS issues, especially in development, right? Not so much preview, but more so in development, to have a very good workaround to getting past that.
How does that work? Like the SSR integrations. Like, will this take priority over the SSR integrations, or is it just meant specifically for development?
In terms of the preview server, it would, I believe this gets added to your headers, your response headers in the preview server in SSR. You would need to double check you would need to double check the PR for that, Okiki. Again, all the links would always be linked to this at the end of it, right? But I'll send you that PR at the end. Right.
Okay.
But yeah, more so in development, because this would really help folk in development for sure. Right. Then next up we have a fraud flatten, helping to provide a bug fix that helped add types to the type helps add a particular type attribute to the XML style sheets, processing the instructions in your RSS feeder. Right, this was previously removed by mistake in an earlier PR. Now it's been added back in, right, because Rodden noticed it. And now the type attribute will only be added to the style sheets ending that ends with .xls, .xlsl, that's the one, to enable support for CSS style sheets as well. Lastly, we've got Alex Draper, who has adapted the Astro Cookies API to incorporate the domain as a property on the actual delete cookie options. Without this, it wasn't possible to really use the Astro delete, astro.cookies.delete API to delete the cookies that had a domain set with it. Now, you can find out more about this because he's even managed to, amazingly, update the actual docs as well to reflect his changes there. So as you can see, this would mark the cookie as deleted. Once the cookie is deleted, the astro.cookies has will return false, and the get will return an Astro cookie with a value of undefined. Options now allow the settings of domain and path of the cookie to be deleted as well, which is brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Oh, one last one. Sorry, my bad. This one here is from Matt Steen. This bug basically fixes a small little typo, right? But it also adds a test to the RSS integration to prevent it from coming back again, right, in future. It's because, yeah, it was just making it slightly more difficult to break, as he says, right? But yeah, it also just adds a wee test to there. There was a small little fix, but the test was really, really cool. I really did appreciate this one. So thank you very much, Matt, for that one. And then next up, we're on to the support squad. And this is where we quickly flash on to the heroes of the week. Now, honestly, I'm great to see Chris helping people out in the support squad so much the past couple of weeks, and especially more so this week. He's really getting into a flow of things. Great contributor, great actor in the support squad. And then we've got Wassfila over as well, who's now joined the support squad as well just recently, and who's been taking on more proactive role in his own free time as and when he can, guys. Just remember that this is a completely voluntary thing. And just to say, I'm great to see Bryceguy coming back and helping lead the charge in the support squad. Steps away for a couple of weeks, but then he's back in it again, and he's straight back into being a hero, right? Because his efforts are fantastic. So between the three of you guys, thank you very much for the efforts that you put in this week, and to absolutely everybody in the support squad who has joined in and helped answer all the questions in the support forums over the past couple of weeks. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. Right, now we're over to the pulse for the docs, and just a quick catch up on this, and then we'll see who's in the docs teams about. Right, it's actually good to see normality resumed here. Right, over the past couple of weeks, Ben was either, we figured out he wasn't really gaming the system, he was just putting in a lot of commits. So yeah, so it's great to see, Sarah, Chris back on top of the pile. There was 36 out of 39 PRs that were closed this week. I mean, that's what 95% of the PRs that were that managed to get closed in the last week before Christmas. A lot stronger than the actual core repo, but that's the docs team. They're just a powerhouse in themselves. And yeah, so let's see who's about. Who wants to take on? Who wants to jump on?
If I am unmuted, then I will take it on. Food is in the oven, so we're quiet here.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I have not seen these slides though, so we are doing this kind of karaoke thing where it's going to show up, and I'm going to talk, and we see what happens.
Oh, if I knew that was the case, I would have put in a stinger for you.
All right, what am I looking at?
Right.
Oh, I think I know what I'm looking at. I believe I am looking at what our docs looked like last week when we had these ASCII file hierarchy trees that were not accessible, and I mean, they were fine. They did their job. But I think I know what the next slide is going to be.
They're actually a nightmare to write as well.
Yeah. Look at this. Now, this is just a slide, right? So you don't have interactivity, Fuzzy?
Unfortunately.
Those are collapsible and expandable. They interact with zero JavaScript. This is Chris. This is amazing.
Yep.
Chris has been absolutely slaying it the last few weeks. It's in Team Docs. We get some weird idea in our head and we go, hey, I wonder if, and then we sort of go away for a couple hours and we come back and Chris has done it.
Yep.
I don't know any other docs that look like this. I mean, the attention to detail. These file trees, they open and collapse. The file icons.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
everything's so much about it. There's so much about this. And honestly,
yeah, I mean,
I was on the docs the other night, right? And I seen this when it got merged, and I was like, this is new. I had to do a double take. I had to make sure that this wasn't like a preview branch I was looking at, that this was there. Yeah, I love that. This is fantastic.
And I don't know the details behind it, but apparently this is more accessible.
It is, yeah.
Whether it's to screen readers, to what. So this is, and oh, look at that! There is selective highlighting in this thing, just like our code samples.
Yep.
And I don't know if you have a photo of that. If you have a screenshot of that, but in some of our code samples, you can you can highlight the actual file. So when we write, you'll want to add a file here, or make sure this file is here.
Yep.
Yeah, we can highlight that in the sample in docs.
And it's a lot more cleaner and ergonomic as well in terms of just the way that information can be put out. I like that. Honestly, Chris is, the boy is just an artist.
We spent a lot of time talking about this one super thing, but it makes me so excited.
I know, and it's here before.
All right.
Yeah, and so right, next up, right, is. You familiar
what do
with
we
this
got?
one?
Oh, I am familiar with this one. Yes. So we had another great contribution. I don't know if everybody knows, but we've started really paying attention to our Algolia search results in Docs. We now get an email, we get a data dump every Monday of what are the top results people are searching for. And 1, 2, 3 are always the same. They just kind of switch order. It's
Right,
always
yep.
React and Image and Tailwind. And admittedly, we don't put a lot of Tailwind stuff in our docs directly, because for Tailwind and some other things in particular, we say it's not our job to document how Tailwind works. Especially if Tailwind is going to change, right? Then that's a lot of maintenance on us. So we do a lot of linking out to, oh, you're using Tailwind, here's the link. That's their job. They're supposed to tell you how to use it. But we know that
100%.
so many of our astronauts use Tailwind and love Tailwind. So it's always this balance. And I'm glad that all you can see in the screenshot is this much, because that PR, my first reaction to it was, okay, we don't usually document Tailwind here. So can you tell me why we need this, or how this is? Tell me what is very Astro specific, because that's what we do document, is we do want to make sure that you know how to use Tailwind with Astro. But we really do try to avoid duplicating, other third parties' documentation, because they are going to keep it more updated than we more easily can. But then I got a reply back. I got 4 reasons. I'm like, here's why this should be in the docs. So I said, okay, then let's do it. So
and honestly, it's like that is one of the amazing things about the way that you manage the docs project. Is like, it is. It allows folk to actually. What am I trying to say here?
Well, it's a negotiation, right? So you are free. You are free to suggest. I am free to challenge you. I'm like, does this really belong in Astro's docs? And if you can tell us why, then we're like, okay, I guess it belongs in Astro's docs. So now we have an extra little section on adding your fonts, font source with Tailwind. So we hope that's going to help. I don't think our Algolia searches for Tailwind are ever going to go down. They've been in top 3 ever since we started tracking. So we want to help you without duplicating content that is more current elsewhere. But so here you go. So play with your fonts.
Amazing.
Yes, and so thank you for this contribution.
I did love that PR. I really did. Next up, we had this. You familiar?
Yes, I do know what's going on here too. Oh, this is great. I'm passing the test. Okay.
Yes.
So, in fact, last week we introduced this little status bar thing itself, right? This purple and this orange and this what's being done. That was last week's news. That's not even what this slide is about.
Nope.
This slide is about our incredible Spanish team who is on a tear. And this was like days ago. And I think I know what the next slide is going to be. Boom! They are unstoppable. So some of our most active docs contributors are our translators and our language reviewers. So we always highlight both. Yes, it's great to make a PR and say, here's the translation for this page, but we value and we need those reviewers just as much, because Chris and I only speak so many languages between the two of us, and only to certain degrees. So we do need people to jump in and review these PRs and check them for language, for spelling, for grammar, and look at what they've managed to accomplish.
I mean, that's huge
fabulous.
That's a huge amount. I mean, I've been tracking the work that the international team has been doing. I call them the international team. My international team of the ISS astronauts up there in the space station traveling. That old slide that I used to have in This Week in Astro, right? But yeah,
And we do need to call out the reason that there are so many missing is actually because of some recent additions to the docs where every single error message now is its own page, has its entire own page devoted to explaining what the error message you get is, where extra resources are, and how you can fix it. So the reason that there's so much missing is we threw a few dozen error messages at all the languages too. So there's a lot
I
that
love
needs.
those error pages. Those error pages are amazing. Sorry,
They are beautiful, and they're not that long. They're short pages. So anybody who wants to start getting involved by making a PR, I mean, some of our pages are huge, right? And so that's been an issue too, is that it's a bit of a task, a bit of an adventure to try to PR a whole new page. But we're hoping now with these smaller pages that are just focused to one single error message, that more people will feel comfortable getting involved and just PRing a translation to an error message page. So they are actually much closer to done than it looks
There's a lot more low-hanging
because we just threw a lot at them.
Totally.
Low-hanging fruit, absolutely.
And I just want to say, it's like, there's one thing I just want to pull you up on, right? Is like with your amazing commentary there, was that you said that, you know, the docs, the international team, you know, it's like the contributors and the reviewers, right, are some of the most active. I would honestly say they are probably more active than a lot of other parts of Astro. Is like the amount of contributions and the PRs that are going in and the activity that are going in by these guys, it is phenomenal. It's just so amazing to see. Sarah, they're doing a great job for you, like. But yeah,
they are doing a great job. They're making me look good.
They really are.
Good. I also know what this is about. So, related to our new, oh my gosh, content collections is out under that experimental flag, which means it needed a huge docs page to accompany it. It's still not the full, and it's not final, but that's what experimental flags are for, right? We tried to give you enough that you could play with it and figure some things out yourself. And what's exciting is that apparently you are playing with this and you are figuring it out, because we've had such a handful of community contributions PRing this page. And yeah, they're all typos. So, okay, maybe it's a little embarrassing, but that means you're using it, you're reading it, and we're thrilled to give you a chance to get involved with the docs. You see something, you fix something. That's our motto.
Yep. I love that. The Content Typos API.
Yes, nicely done, Fuzzy.
Thank you. And that is it, Sarah. You've been amazing, right? And
all right, I will tune out. Thanks, Fuzzy. Thanks, everyone.
And I just want to say, guys, right? It is that time of the year now, right, where we're just drawn to a close, right? And it's normally where the late great Fozzie Bear would hold his annual Christmas party. And in memory of that tradition, I'll be holding the first ever inauguration of the Fuzzy Astro Christmas party here in the server on Friday, right? Basically, if you it's going to be on for a couple of hours. We're going to be playing chess. We're going to be playing checkers. We're going to have showcases. If people want to get in touch with me to demo some of the work that they would like to do and put that, you know, to show other people off, that's not a problem. I'm more than happy to give some space and time. Just come on round, bring the cheer, bring the joy. And yeah, so Friday between 2 o'clock to 7 p.m. GMT, even later depending on how the party goes. All right. This is you're hereby cordially invited to the Astro Fuzzy Christmas party. And on that note, guys, from absolutely everyone here at Astro, right, and the maintainers and the community abroad, we'd like to wish you a festive greetings throughout this coming season. Hope you guys are all well. Look after yourselves, your loved ones, and your friends and family. And see you all in the new year. Peace and love, guys. Merry Christmas.